Ladies and gentlemen.
We have some stuff to install. We've got the car pretty much ready. We got the exhaust on, we got tires mounted just like shortly, which I made the mistake of going and mounting tires before I started working on the car. So I ended up hanging out there for like 4 hours and now I'm like super behind schedule, but that's okay. So today we're like, the car is essentially ready to drift besides me going over and just checking fluids and nuts and bolts and stuff. But there's one thing I want to do before we go drive it because it makes such a big difference. Like, I feel like people don't realize how much of a difference it makes. I see a lot of people who have like all these mods and don't have this done, but it has a seat in it already, but we're putting the seat out of the Miata in it because we're getting new seats for the Miata. So we're gonna put this bride in there. I got this seat rail. I bought it from Matt because he bought it and then had to buy another one or something. I don't remember. I've got, oh, I forgot to put those up here. I've got some red harnesses, which will match another thing we're installing. Hopefully my goal is to be able to put the driver's seat in the passenger side somehow. Not sure yet. So we have some stuff. We got a fire extinguisher. Need that, Fast Tech. So, E&D Performance sent me over a bunch of stuff. We've got gloves. Let's bring you guys in closer here. This should be the quick release. Yeah, this is a gold spline style quick release, which I'll show you guys once we get to that point. I guess we can just take it out now. I really like this company. They sent this stuff over to me, which is really cool. But they make like a really affordable but yet really quality product. There's some other cheap seats and steering wheel companies that are meh. This stuff's actually decent. I started to open this already earlier, but I like wanted you guys to see my legit reactions. So this wheel's going in the vet. It feels really solid. I'll show you guys when we get it in. I'd be willing to bet it's super solid. That's a big thing. You can kind of grab the cheap wheels and like bend them. It's one of those things you can't really cheap out on, but this is a nice suede 350 to replace the wheel that's in there now because it's a 330, which is way too small for the vet. So that will be going in the vet. Don't know that we'll have time to throw that in tonight. What I'm really excited about, red suede for the 350. Check that out. I'm so hyped on this. This thing looks sick. This with the gold. Whoo, hot boy AF. And then I was like, I can't have green gloves with a red steering wheel, so they sent me gloves as well, which these are really nice. I'll show you guys them. Real quick before we install them, they have like a, almost like a, not rubbery, you know what I'm talking about, material here for grip, because you guys have seen I run into issues with you know, not being able to wear my gloves on certain steering wheels, so I'm hoping these won't be that way. They don't seem to be. They fit really nice. So we've got just a regular NRG short hub adapter, and then we have shift knob. This is a nice like aluminum. It's got knurling on it. Oh man, this feels really nice. It's got a lot of grip to it. So for those of you who've seen my drift reviews, you know I'm always talking about like where the steering wheel is and stuff, because I mean it's all personal preference. But for me, I like a wheel really close, which is why I went with their deep dish wheel. I like a 350. I have that other one in 330. I really like 350 and suede. It wears out quicker than like leather would, but it's way worth it. So one thing I want to note is that these mods, like seat, steering wheel, shift knob, they're like, in my opinion, at the top of the list for drift mods. We'll have like a 5 top mods, like 5 basics or whatever, the first 5 things you should do to a drift car video one day. But these are at like the top of the list, for me at least, because these make such a drastic difference in how you drive to how you interact with the car. Like, it has a tubular seat in there, so it's got like a frame and springs. And for me, I don't get a good feel of like what the car is doing, you know? Whereas with these fiberglass seats, you're pretty much directly connected to the chassis. You get a much better feel about like what's going on. Same with the steering wheel, having a nice deep dish wheel where like this is the only spots you can't grab instead of like huge areas you can't grab on the stock wheel that's like too far away from me. Having a nice tall weighted shift knob, so you know I can easily go from the wheel to the shift knob to change gears. Like all that stuff helps a ton, and to me especially, like seat and steering wheel make a drastic difference in how a car feels. It could be like a fully built race car, a stock seat and stock steering wheel, and it wouldn't feel half as good as if you have like a seat and steering wheel. So very important, I think, and I think it's overlooked a little bit. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna start working on it. All right, the first step is gonna be to pull these harnesses out and pull this seat out. Again, I'm not sure if the driver's side rail will work on the passenger side. We'll have to look when we get it out and take a look at the passenger side, but that would be ideal. I don't think I've ever had a bucket passenger seat. I've always had stock passenger seats. Okay, so it looks like 14s. That was cross-threaded. That one wasn't. Okay. This is interesting. The lower harness mount, they welded it to the bolt for the seat. Kind of clever. This other one's gonna be hard to get to. Is it the same thing though? Yeah, it's the same thing. So once we get this last harness connection point slash seat bolt off, we can pop the seat out. Okay. I feel like every car I've ever worked on has used a 14 mil bolt for the seats. Should be able to pull the seat out. If you look at it, it looks as though they shouldn't be side specific. Maybe though. This looks like it's at an angle compared to this, which is straight. Maybe not. I might be overthinking it. We're gonna vacuum this while we're here though. All right, let's see what kind of assembly we're gonna have to do. Oh. Yeah, I figured we would have to bolt this all together. Let's see, we got instructions. So these guys bolt down to studs. Oh wow, that's super easy. So what we're gonna do is just bolt these side plates on first. Once we get the side plates bolted on, we'll bolt the seat onto the side plates, and then we should be able to put the slider part on. So these are slotted left to right so that you can get them to fit the seat. So there's like never a good way to do this because you can't get to these really well once the seat's on, but you don't know where they need to be until the seat's on. So we might bolt the seat on, like snug them down, bolt the seat on, and then like, I don't know. There's no good way to do this. Ratchety wrench. All right, so I'm just gonna let you guys time travel until I have this set up and on the seat. Okay, does that sound good? You get what I'm doing. Simple. Quick side note, if I had taken more than 2 seconds to look at this, I would have seen this, but this is where this bar goes on, so this obviously has to be on the inside. So I put these on backwards for a second. Luckily I hadn't even tightened this one down yet before I realized it. So this leg is on the inside, which I should have known by looking at the other seat, but whatever. We all make mistakes. I'm sure some of you were yelling at the screen, you Z owners that have done this. You're like, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Stop it. I stopped. Don't worry. We're good. So part of the reason I wanted to get new seats for the Miata was because I wanted to get new seat rails, because you can kind of see how jank this is. I believe this is a stock rail, and it's just drilled with one bolt per bracket. Not very safe. Probably move this knife somewhere. Okay, so see, this is going to be passenger side. No, that's not right. Yeah, driver's side. It's easy to tell because one has a spot for the factory seatbelt buckle, which would go on the inside. I was just thinking it was going to go on the outside. So I'm going to mount the rear as well as it'll go. So now these need to go in some. We actually might be able to get to these nuts here. So we're going to mount the front up one notch, maybe two. We'll start with one. We'll see how one notch is. I like to have my seats inclined back a little bit. We're going to loosen these so that they can reset. Man, that's the other thing. We gotta get this in to where it winds up to the bolt holes and then adjust from there. Installing a seat and steering wheel is like one of those projects where it's tight because it's easy. You're not like under the car getting greasy. It's rewarding, like you're going from a stock seat or a seat you didn't like or whatever to a new seat and a wheel. But this part is, I remembered, it is annoying. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to bolt it in and then see if we can get under there with a wrench. I really don't think that's possible. And tighten these down enough. I guess we'll measure. Why don't we do that? Let's be smart about this. Okay, so from center to center we have 16 1/4. Yeah, that's not even close. That's still not even close. I'm gonna go remeasure and hope I'm wrong here. All right, so what we are gonna have to do is bolt it in like this and then tighten this side up some and it'll kind of bring the bracket in and bend it a little bit, but that's like the only way I can get the right distance here. Let's give it a shot, I guess. So before I go too crazy and start tightening everything up, let's make sure that it's like the right incline and everything. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where I want it, incline-wise. Get my head on this thing. Definitely be scooted forward a bit, but good with that. Fortunately, we can get, not easily, but we can get to these bolts that bolt the side mount brackets to the seat itself. So, we can be sure that they're in the right spot when we tighten them down. We've got everything snugged up. We're going to snug these up first so they'll pull the rails together as much as possible before we tighten down the 4 bolts, so we're not stretching things more than we need to. I think this is about where we're going to want to be. We can still seem to move it, so let it ride for now. Okay, we have the whole harness out. We need to swap these clips over to my new harness so that we can hook them back onto all the mounting points that are already here. So you guys might think this is silly just for the color, like why would you go through all that extra work? Well, look, this is the latching system for this one. You twist it and they all pop off. This one is the old school, I think it's like dirt track style is what you call it. This is what I used to have for the longest time. Where's the other side one? So if you ever get in a car like this, you take shoulder strap, and then you slide it into here and you latch this. So obviously it takes a lot more time than just clipping these in and popping this and being out. So that's the other reason. Main reason is color though, let's be real. So I'm gonna take these off one at a time because I've never hooked these on like this, like hooked on a strap with like wrapping it. So it goes up, so it loops over. Okay, I think I got it. So Gotta put it on with these shoulder straps. You guys can't see. So this was already on here. I just looped it around that and up through there, down through here. And then we'll go back through here. Left a little too much slack there. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it though. That seems like the smart, safe way to do it. So, anyway, I'll swap these over and then we'll install this. So something I didn't think about is you have to adjust essentially where this ends up along the belt to put the harnesses in a good spot once they, you know, make it to wherever you're mounting them to and all of that. So I set them up to where it's like right about here. So I have plenty of room to pull this for tighter or looser. So that's what they end up like. I'm good with that. Keep moving. So pretty simple installation here. It just clips into this eye bolt. Actually, let's put this side through. It's a little smaller. Goes down here. Boom. It should be about even. Yeah, that's nice. This one's a little longer. That's okay though. Not a big deal. I wanted to try to get them decently even here. Okay, now we just need to mount the bottom one. Okay, we've got 4 of the 5 points in, so now we have to put the 5th point in because this is what has the buckle itself on it, so it has to be in there no matter what. Might as well use it, right? Might as well bolt it down. So we're gonna drill a hole in the floor. This is not the most ideal way to do this. Obviously you'd want more structure, but this is really just kind of keeping us from sliding out. Most of the time, most people use 4 only anyway. Not most people, but I've always used 4, so better than nothing. Use big washers. Somewhere right around here. All right, let's see if we can find that from the top. All right, that ended up being in like the perfect spot. So I can go, well, it's about right actually. All right, we've already disconnected the battery. We know we need a T30 tamper-proof Torx. So these are tamper-proof. For those of you who don't know what that is, see how it has that little dot in the middle? That's so you can't use a normal Torx, which is kind of dumb when you think about it, since you can just buy tamper-proof Torx bits. So like, they're not really tamper-proof. I guess it makes it a little more difficult. You have to have the right tool, but. Okay, so these are the airbag wires. Like I said, we have already disconnected the battery. Not sure what, how these come off. Okay, well, that's not how you're supposed to do it, but that's how I did it. We'll tape these up real quick. So it's this gray connector. Probably blocking the shot, but there it is. We'll take the center nut of the steering wheel off, and then we should be able to pop it off. We do have this to deal with, so we'll see what happens when we get to that point. Oh wow, that was easy as hell. Of course, we have to snip these down here now. All that, what we just did was useless. Now, I'm not too certain if this comes off. We need to take this off, or how it comes off. Grab the NRG hub adapter and see where we're at. So it looks like the steering wheel wasn't straight. I feel like it was straight. Oh yeah, it saves all that. So we'll still have turn signal delete and such. Okay, so let's look at our steering wheel. So our steering wheel is going to align by the top bolt, so we'll set it to where the top is dead center. The wheels look as straight as we can get them, and hopefully it'll work. And when I say work, I mean be straight. Gotta figure out which way is up. Oh, I see. I see where I went wrong here. There we go. All right, we know we're good now. We can tighten them down. For little bolts like this, I like to use the the small Allen keys that like usually come with the bolts, because you can't really get a whole ton of torque on it because it's so short, so you are less likely to strip it. And when I say you, I mean I, because I strip everything. I used to. I've gotten a lot better. I don't really strip stuff anymore. I under tighten, if anything, now. Before we get to see the final product, I want to see it all as one piece. So we're gonna go ahead and switch this shift knob. It should just thread off. Holy shit. Does it not just thread off? There we go. Got it to break loose. Took some effort. Oh man. Boy, was that a challenge or what? Holy hell. Let's see if it lines up straight, or if we have to shove something in there to make it line up straight. Oh yeah, all right, so we're gonna put the wheel on and see how everything feels. Final moment here. Oh, that's perfect. Let me get this. We gotta, oh wow, that's butter. That weight helps a lot. The wheel is right where I like it. You know how I like a closed steering wheel. I always talk about it. This is like right where I wanted it to be. Oh, this is gonna make things so good. Let's try with the gloves. Top it all off. There's a lot of padding on these gloves. They grip like crazy. Oh, this is gonna be so good. I'm so excited, guys. Oh, I'm so stoked. This light's like all on my face. Let's move this out. Oh, like I was saying, this kind of stuff makes such a big difference in the feel of a car. If you have, you know, a shifter that's really low and feels funny, and you've got a steering wheel in a spot where you don't like it, and it's this big bulky thing, and like the seat's not gonna hold you in, those things all make a big difference. This feels like a new car, and I haven't even driven it yet. But trust me, if you've never put a seat or a steering wheel in your car, put one in and you'll see what I mean. It feels like an entirely new car. So I'm super stoked. I'm glad we got this done the night before the event, no less. Huge shout out to D&D Performance Interior. They have tons of steering wheels. They're super affordable. They're like 120 bucks, and they're really solid. Like, you know, I really like the spline quick release too. Like the ball ones, like I know they're fine because I've had them forever, but they kind of make me a little nervous. You gotta make sure you get it in all the way. Oh man, I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. I can't wait to drive this thing tomorrow. So rad. Let me pull the shifter back into neutral. Oh, that looks so sick. Oh, I'm so happy with how this came out. All right, so we still have that seat to put in the passenger side. We're not gonna do that right now because I don't have the hardware to mount the harnesses. Obviously, I stole the hardware off those harnesses to mount these harnesses. So we'll do that another day because I'd rather have a seat with a seat belt in there. So, you know, if we go street drifting or something and someone needs to ride along, they can. So we'll do that another day, we'll save that. We've also got the D&D steering wheel for the Vet, which I'll probably do another day when I'm tinkering. For now, what we have left to do is just kind of go through the car, check all the nuts and bolts, check the fluids and all that. So I'm not gonna bore you guys with that because I mean, literally just checking bolts and checking fluids. But after that, we're gonna put the other wheels on, put the car on the ground. I think it's gonna look sick. The final, just slammed the door into my chest. The final christening, D&D air freshener. Ta-da! I'm gonna lower it down. Do a quick walk around. I'm pretty happy with what we got done in 2 days, basically. You know, getting the exhaust on, getting the creature comforts. I can't figure out, there's what I used to call like seat and steering wheel. I used to call that something, but I don't know what it is. But getting this set up, like tailored to me on the interior. We've got drift spares. We've got spares in the truck for tomorrow. We are ready to go. Side note, those tires look kind of ridiculous on this thing. They look good on the Vet, that size, but a little big on the old Z here. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. Again, thanks to D&D for sending that stuff over. Link will be below to their website. They have a bunch of good stuff. Yeah, drifting tomorrow. Let's, like, fingers crossed it goes well. When I nut and bolted the car, a few things in the suspension were loose, which is normal. That's why you're supposed to nut and bolt a car between every event, which just means going around and tightening all the stuff. But that's all good. Fluids are good. I mean, I think we're solid. I think let's just hope it works. So tomorrow we're gonna load up and we're gonna go to the drift event. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.